Hey guys, it's Michael Rimley with Gateway Family Services in Potomac, Illinois. And the holidays are quickly approaching. And for some of us, that brings about joy and excitement, time with friends and family and with God. And for others, that may not be the case. The holidays may bring dread and they may bring frustration, loneliness, remind you of the grief and loss that you've experienced. The holidays should be a time of connection. And I've really been thinking a lot lately is what happens when those opportunities of connection don't work? What happens when connection fails? You see, recently I had a situation in which I learned a really good life lesson about connection from a bit of technology. And you see, I think that a lot of people would say that technology is a great thing. We've had a lot of advances because of technology. But I have to wonder, what have these advances in technology and what has technology done to human connection? So I feel like as we head into the holidays and we have opportunities for connection to work or connection to fail, maybe we ought to take a look and see what we can personally do to ensure that we're doing our part to make sure connection works. Let's take a look. I have really grown to love my Bluetooth headphones. They've become a part of my everyday routine. Whether I'm at the gym or going for a run or walk or even mowing, all I have to do is put the headphones on, press the power button, and zoop, connected. My phone and my Bluetooth headphones can communicate with one another, and I can listen to music, podcasts, audiobooks, whatever, and it's so simple and so easy. But one morning, I learned a lot about connection because something was off. So I had this normal morning routine. I went to the gym and I would sit outside the gym and I would kind of look into the gym thinking, man, I should go in there and work out, but I really didn't have a whole lot of motivation. Then I'd put my headphones on, press the power button, zoop, and they would connect. My phone and my headphones would connect, and that was just kind of what I needed to get motivated to go into the gym. But on this one particular morning, things weren't working as well. Put the headphones on, turned them on, and I sat there, and all of a sudden, instead of hearing connected, I heard searching for a device. And I was like, what is taking so long? Why aren't these things working together? And so at that point, I began to get frustrated. What is wrong with my phone? What is wrong with the headphones? Have these headphones already died already? Like, what is going on? And so I started to troubleshoot. I turned the headphones off, turned it back on, still searching for device was all I was hearing. And then after a little while of frustration and getting really annoyed and considering leaving the gym and not working out at all, I looked at the phone and realized I had left the Bluetooth option off on my phone, making it impossible for the phone and the headphones to connect. And I realized a whole lot at that moment. I'd taken for granted the connection between my phone and my headphones. You see, with the click of a button, it was there. It was pretty easy. But on this particular day, connection wasn't there, and connection wasn't easy. And I began to really think about this idea of connection, not just with technology, connection with one another. And I stopped and thought, healthy, genuine connection does not come easy. It takes time, it takes a lot of work, and there's no troubleshooting manual for connection with humans. And I realized at that moment we've really gotten spoiled in how we can connect to things. I mean, I could connect to my Wi-Fi, to my Bluetooth, to my phone, my hotspot. There's all kinds of different ways that we can find connection. And I began to think, man, what are these things incorrectly teaching us about connection? I was able to connect my headphones and my cell phone that morning and go about my workout and complete it with no problem. And I started thinking about human relationships and that connection isn't always guaranteed. And as I thought about that, there's a couple different things that I feel like we can learn from the technology that helps us in relationships. First off, we have a couple different ways that we can respond when connection isn't working. I could just have said, it's the headphones. They're not working. I'm done. Throwing them out the window. We're getting new ones. Or I could have said, it's the cell phone's fault. I'm going to get rid of the cell phone. It's not working. It's old, whatever. Or I could do the hard work and do the troubleshooting to figure out how to get these two devices to work with one another. So I'm curious for you, as you're heading into these holiday gatherings, this holiday season, what is your go-to response when it appears that you're encountering someone and it feels like you're hearing searching for a device? Healthy connection takes time. It takes two willing participants to troubleshoot and figure out how to make sure that connection is working. But as we're heading into this holiday season, there are a couple things that I want us to keep in mind, because sometimes we encounter people where they're not as concerned about connection, or they may not know as much about how to ensure connection with self and others. Connection starts with ourselves. It starts with us connecting with ourselves so that we can be open to connecting with other people. So that means getting to know yourself, taking time for yourself, setting aside time so that you can be regulated, so that when you encounter other people, you are there and ready for genuine connection. As you're planning your holidays, think about that. What do you need to do to prepare yourself to be open for connection when you get to those holiday gatherings? I think that self-regulation is so critical for healthy, genuine connections. You see, I think we've all had those moments where we've had Wi-Fi connection it's hit or miss and you're not quite able to do much on it. To me, that is like somebody who is dysregulated, whether that's me or that's someone else. But if I can give you a superficial level of connection and be dysregulated. But if we want genuine, authentic connection, that comes from a place of being regulated, even when the other person is dysregulated. So, as you're heading into the holiday season, what are the things that you're going to do to help yourself stay regulated? Does that mean a little bit of change in your schedule? Does that mean a little bit of time in preparation before you encounter some of those offline individuals? So what is it that you're going to do to make sure you are open and ready for connection with other people this holiday season? In another situation, I was at the gym and I had gotten into the gym and was doing the workout, and all of a sudden I heard on the headphones, "Please charge device." And I was like, I can get through this workout, I'll be fine, and I'll charge them later. And so I pressed through, and it wasn't but a few minutes later that the headphones shut off because the battery was dead. And again, it's a very important lesson that we can learn, is that in order to have connection, healthy, genuine connection, that means that we need to stay charged. Our batteries in life need to stay charged. So as you're heading into this holiday season, what is it that you're doing for yourself that's helping make sure your battery is charged? How do you make sure that your connection can be there and make sure that you are plenty charged and rested up? So this may look a little bit different than years past. In the amount of time you spend shopping or prepping dinner, whatever it is, how do you make sure that you can arrive to the holiday season well rested, charged up, and ready to be present, fully present for healthy, genuine connection? Years ago, there was a great movie that came out called What About Bob with Bill Murray. In this movie, Bill Murray, his character Bob, is talking about human relationships as they relate to telephones. He said that there are times that you make a phone call and it says that it's temporarily out of service. And there's other times that it says this phone has been disconnected, is no longer working. And so he tied this into human relationships, and I think we can all relate when we've encountered somebody who it feels like they're temporarily out of service. And at that point, it is really critical for us to do our own self-regulation and our own work, and allow that person to also do their own work, so that eventually you can have connection, healthy, genuine connection. And then there's other times in which the phone has been disconnected, and it is not healthy to try and maintain a connection in that relationship. In a society of instant gratification, I think we've all gotten really spoiled in how quickly connection can happen. You see, the other day I was walking and I was talking on my phone, and I walked by my car that was started, and as I'm having the conversation, my car and cell phone pick up with one another, and the conversation starts taking place in the car while I'm on the outside. And I didn't ask it to do that. It just happened. I mean, connection just happened. And then there's other days that I'm trying so desperately to get the two to communicate with one another, and it wouldn't work. They just won't communicate. So in those moments, it's so critical for us to stop, to take a deep breath, take a belly breath, and realize that we've got some troubleshooting to do. And that applies in our human relationships. So as you're going about the holiday, your festivities, and the time with family and friends, I want you to keep a couple things in mind. Connection with yourself comes first. What are you doing to make sure you're maintaining connection with yourself so that you can be open for connection with others? What are you doing to make sure that your battery in life is charged so that you're open, you're ready, and you can maintain regulation even when other people around you aren't regulated? And the last thing is knowing when you need to step away from a connection. Work on yourself, let them work on themselves, and come back. And also knowing when maybe a phone is out of order. You see, I feel like us focusing on connection with ourselves is dramatically going to change the way connection with others works. And if we fail to work on the connection with ourselves, I feel like we're going to continue to hear searching for device in all of our relationships.